Okay, so we are doing our final Guild War of Season 3, and this time I'm going to be scouting the first tower, Tower 1. So for this tower, they are using Falcon 5 on a supporter, so before third turn, and then through the next 12 turns. And then they're also using Siren 6, which is before the 5th turn, and it's going to be targeting my warrior, so that's an unremovable charm. So in terms of taunts, they only have one source of taunt, which is Albion, which could potentially give taunts to Mimir, Galania, Jin, and Velfern. Now, for the initial plan for this, we're actually just going to straight up block Albion from taunting using our Viper 7. This happens before turn 1, so when Albion moves, his AoE effect is reduced to 1 tile, which means no one can get the taunt. So Viper 7 effectively shuts down all the taunts in this line, and which means then, since we don't have taunts, we don't really need to use a Falcon to focus anything. And then we're also using Orochi top, which Orochi is fantastic for dealing with Vanaka, because you can reduce her down to 1 or 2 HP, and then when you touch an enemy warrior, Vanaka will die, and then the warriors can die. So the only main threat is the Velfern, because mid lane is pretty easy to block. Not only do we have Viper, but we have Mamo with 3 tiles of space, and we have Lucius with 2 tiles of space to deal with the Alec and the Valze. So the main point is to kill this Velfern. So when we shut down the taunt from Albion, that will let us use Valze to kill Velfern quite easily. We could also use Siegmund, because this Velfern is running defense runes, so the fixed damage will easily kill him, but we're going to go ahead with Valze, because she's a little more consistent with dealing with later units like Mamo and things like that. And then, because they're using a supporter Falcon and a warrior charm, I have to run my units such that I have a fodder support early, so that's who they're going to hit round 1 and kill, so Kuik. And then my first warrior I'm having be Jin. And he will be buffed with Refia for full damage reduction, and the point is that he can hit himself and it doesn't affect anything. So he will be the one that gets charmed, and it doesn't waste any time or cause any issues. And then, yeah, so basically the way that the turns are going to play out is, I'm not sure how their chain is going to go. They could just go 2, they could just go Vanaka and Alec, they could run the full chain, which is Galania, Osmode, Velf, and then Albion. We're not sure. So, in terms of tanking top, I have Mamo hitting the Levia, I have their Jin hitting my Jin, and then of course the Mamo and the Lucius tanking these 2 mid. So what I'm going to do is chain Levia to Ruffy to Jin, takes care of the charm. Then I will follow up with Valze, killing the Velfern and the Galania. Then I will follow up with Alec, who will deal with Vanaka and all 3 units mid. So the way it's going to work, with Vanaka down to 1 HP, Alec has 3 damage sources. So his first damage source is going to be his normal attack, and that is what will kill the Vanaka. Then his first add damage is a barrier ignore. That is what will kill all the units, and then the proccing the Galania buff, and then the final Super Raging Strike will deal direct damage, killing these units through the Galania. So we'll deal with all 3 pieces. First, we'll kill Vanaka. Second, we'll pop the Galania buff. And the third, we'll ignore the Galania buff. And then once those 3 are dead, and Vanaka is dead, then my Osmode can eat the Jin. And then we use Mamo to kill Albion. And then all that we have left is Mimir top. And then we just clean that up round 2 with Levia into Alec. So let's go ahead and see how this turns out. Oh, double just showing. I have my Viper on middle lane, and I have my Orochi on top. Yep. All right. Let's slow this down. Alright, so they've charmed my Jhin. Now here's where they kill my Kiwick. Alright. Jhin takes the taunt. Great. We kill the Velf. Boom, now we kill everyone mid, as well as Vinaka. We kill the Jhin. And kill the Albion. And now we just have to clean up the Mammonier. So Levia will go, taking the first. Now we have one Death Guard left. And now it's just a matter of killing her. Oh, there, and Valze did it. So yeah, pretty straightforward form. Viper 7 was pretty much the linchpin there. Getting rid of all the taunts allowed us to run it down any of the lanes we wanted without having to worry about running a Falcon.